Hello and welcome back to the Food Fog. Today is November 14th, 2014, and it is the 14th day of my November vlog challenge. So as I was taking a walk outside today, and it was really cold because here in Maryland it's getting a little chilly and we're heading into winter, I was pretty uncomfortable, and I was thinking how I was probably going to have to move my walks inside onto the dust off the treadmill and start using that for a while. But it got me reflecting on the seasons and just the whole metaphor of seasons in general, but how important it is to adapt. Like if we don't adapt to our environment, we're often left uncomfortable, and I think that has to do a lot too with our health journey. If we don't accept that some things we're doing that work for a while may need to adapt to shifts in our life, changes in our living environment, all those kind of things, and then we often get uncomfortable or stressed from that resistance. So and just in general with regards to changing in seasons, I know for myself, being on a raw food diet for the last 5 years or so, that there are definite things I do during the winter that help me transition through that season more comfortably, and other than the obvious of wearing warmer clothes and turning on the heat, I do things like I make warm teas, a lot of herbal teas in the winter, and warm soups, like I'll warm soups in the blender. And also, just like I mentioned, just using the treadmill, I really notice that it's my tendency or my inclination, I guess, to just kind of like slow down in the winter. And but I noticed last year I made an attempt to just do a little extra walking or push the intensity a little bit. It wasn't really for a fitness thing. I really didn't, buff up or anything. It was just to get moving a little bit more, and it actually helped me stay a lot warmer, because I had a winter prior to that where I was just so cold all the time, and I thought maybe like I had something wrong with my thyroid or something, because I just could not get warm. And so this past year, I just added a lot more movement, even just jumping around and doing things helped me feel like I was warmer, which made the transition through that season a lot more comfortable. But in general, there's a lot of things that can help us through all the seasons of our health journey, and not just the climactic ones. Sometimes when we hit a bump in the road and we feel like things are not going so well, we have to look at our environment and see what's changed and what we need to adapt to accommodate that environmental shift. So those are my insights for the day. And it's getting harder to have profound ones, especially it's almost 10 o'clock at night. But once again, thank you for joining me, and I will be back for the halfway mark tomorrow, day 15. So hello, today I'm making some raw bread. I had some soaked and sprouted buckwheat groats I need to use up. So I started out in this bowl. Actually, I put ground flax, like flax meal, whole hemp seeds, and some more whole flax seeds, some sea salt and spices. I put that in there. Then I went and took 6 or 7 of these red peppers, and blended them in this nice blender here, with an apple and some tomatoes, a little Bragg's vinegar, and some water. And then when that was all mixed up, I blended in the soaked buckwheat groats until I got like a thick, or it wasn't even that thick, it was like a thin, pasty liquid. And then I poured all that in here, and now I'm mixing it up. I'm going to take some onions and slice them on my mandolin there with my gloves so I don't cut off my fingers. And then add those in there to give it like an oniony bread kind of flavor. And so then I'm going to spread it on my Teflex sheets here, and depends on how thick I make it, it'll either be a bread or a cracker. I think I'm going for a bread because I actually have one here. Last week I made crackers, so they're really crunchy and thin, and they're really tasty, but I think I want more like a bread for like a kind of a sandwich kind of thing for this week. So that'll go on there, and probably about a day it'll be ready. Spreading it out. Okay, so I've got this mostly spread out here. I'm gonna make sure they're even here, and then go and put it in the dehydrator. So my raw bread here has been in for about 8 hours, and I just scored it with like a pizza cutter, and you can see it's kind of like actual bread now, but it's with the onion pieces hanging out of it, but it's still soft in the middle, so I will give that at least till tomorrow sometime, or we'll probably have that for dinner on Sunday. So yep, that's that. So this is lunch or dinner, I guess it's like 4 o'clock, so whatever. Today this is actually these are called organic mung bean fettuccine noodles, and the actual directions are to cook them, but we actually since they're just mung beans and water, that's really all the ingredients are in there. I can't find the ingredients, but yeah, mung beans and water. So we just soak them for 2 days, and or 24 to 48 hours. I just throw them in a bowl with water, and I leave them there on the counter for a day or two until we want to use them, and then I just rinse them really well, and they make a really good base for a salad, or just by themselves if you have a really good sauce. This is some leftover sun-dried, or not sun-dried, just tomato red pepper dressing from yesterday, and some vegetables, and that's between the two. We split it between the two of us. It's a pretty filling meal. So yeah, you could even make like a fettuccine alfredo if you wanted to use, like, make a creamy white sauce with like whatever you want to use. I've done it with hemp seeds or cashews or whatever. So that'll be lunch.